How many of you know who this person is? I'm pretty sure you do. Michael Jordan, debatable, GOAT or not GOAT, but however, he's won 6 championship rings. That's undebatable, which has never been repeated in history. He's done a 6-peat. Now, this is Tom Brady, who did even better in NFL. 7 championship rings, never been repeated. He's got a 7-peat. I want to today show you what an 8-peat looks like. Now, since we started our coaching business, me and Tony, 8 years ago, we've launched 8 courses and none of them have failed. Every single course we launch has generated over 6 figures and some even over multiple 7 figures. And every single one has been successful since we launched it. And it's not like we've launched 100 courses and 8 became winners, which would still be good. We've launched 8 from 8. And I want to share with you the formula that we use to create 8 consecutive successful courses in a row. And if we were to launch a 9th course, I would be using the exact same framework to launch that 9th course. And I could almost, I don't want to say guarantee, but based on past results, 8 from 8, I can almost guarantee that it'll be 9 from 9. And so I'm going to share with you that framework. Would that be useful for you guys to learn a framework that's working right now? Cool. And so this is the 8P. So when I started 8 years ago, I was a life coach. And so I had a 6-month life coaching program called Bamboo Life Coaching. And if you've been following me for this long, which I don't know if you have or not, but maybe there might be a couple of people who've been following me this long, you know, that's what this life coaching program, one-on-one life coaching program, sold over $495,000. Then coaches started coming to me saying, how did you do this? How did you get leads? How did you get paid organically, no ads, posting 3 times a week as a life coach when it's saturated and nobody knew who you were? So I created a Passion to Profits program to teach life coaches on how to get leads and how to get paid. That one made over $600,000. Then this thing called COVID happened and I had to change the whole course because the key word was pivot. I had to pivot. Who remembers pivoting? I mean, it feels like such a long time ago, but everybody had to pivot. So I changed the course to Passion Profits 2.0, and that crushed. Over the season of COVID, sold over $2.5 million, and that's when our life started to really change. Then we have our 3-day Pro Coach certification, which is run by Tony. That's done over 1.22 million. In actual fact, we don't need to update that. It's probably done close to 1.6 million. And we have our Pro Coach Masters certification, which is done over 2.36 million. We've got our Point 1 Inner Circle Mastermind. That's my $25,000 Inner Circle Mastermind, which is done almost 5 million. We have our Platinum Inner Circle Mastermind, which is done over 3 million. That's for coaches on 100K or more. And the newest program we launched is our Underdog Academy Tiny Challenge program, which was launched only definitely less than a year ago. And that's done almost $2 million since we launched that just under a year ago. And so that's a total of $16.8 million cash. This is cash collected, not sales, cash collected online. And to prove to you, and I feel awkward. I've never thought that I'll be doing this, but I feel a bit awkward doing this, but I'm going to do it because I know that for you to be reassured you're in the right place is more important than me opening my undies drawer. You know what I'm saying? Like, so this is our Stripe account from last year, 2024. You can see there we collected 4.77 million, and you can see that's year to date, Jan to December 2024. That's last year. That's cash collected. Stripe doesn't do sales; it does cash collected. That's only in Stripe. It doesn't include PayPal, direct debits, Venmo, or other methods of payment that doesn't go through Stripe. So we collected over $5 million last year. How many think that would probably change your life? $5 million in a year. Cool. That's just last year. This year alone, and you can see the date there. I mean, that's when I screenshotted it. This year, from this morning, I got this from this morning for you guys. In the first 2 months of this year, January and February, we've collected almost $1.2 million cash collected. That excludes every other means of payment. Just from our Stripe account, $1.2 million in the first 2 months of this year. So we're on a trajectory to hit 8 figures this year, which is kind of cool. And you can see there, that's the date, January and February, and the screenshot from this morning. You can see that there, today's date, which is, what is that? The 4th of March. It's the 4th of March in Australia. According to Americans, we live in the future, but according to Australians, you live in the past. So whatever you want to call it, it's the 4th of March over here. It's the 3rd of March for you guys. And that's a screenshot from today, $1.2 million cash collected. And I share this all with you, not to say that everybody here, you're going to collect the $1.2 million in cash in the next 2 months, although that would be awesome. I'm showing you what's possible, but also to share with you that you're in the right place with a big disclaimer that everything we share with you today, it's not a quick rich scheme. It's not a how to do nothing and make money overnight. In order for us to make $1.2 million this year, how many you get that? I probably had to work. How many you get that? I had some late nights and I had some early mornings and I had some weekends where I didn't see my kids or my wife. Like, that's the reality. Now, it's not like I worked 100 hours a week every single week since the start of this year. No, I do also have a life, but I had to put some work in it. So who's okay with working to get the dream life they want? Like, I mean, hard work is underrated. Please don't buy into the stories that you see out there, how to make $1 million without doing anything. I think the work you do is the thing that makes you fulfilled. The money is a byproduct of doing what you love and impacting more lives. Does that kind of make sense for everyone here? That's kind of where we're at right now. So I'm guessing you're here because you want to help people, but also make some good money at the same time as well. Is that a true assumption for everyone here? Show of hands if that's true for you. Good, 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 good. And also some of the frameworks we trademarked in this training. So please use the frameworks for your benefit, grow your business, get paid, but do not pass it off as your own. Do not plagiarize. Give me a thumbs up in the screen if you guys are okay with that. Like, that's just be a cool person and everything will happen for you. Everything will happen for you. The only thing I ask is just take action on everything you learn, and action is the ultimate way to get clarity. Not reading a book, not trying to learn, but the ultimate to learn is just to take action from the actual doing of the thing that you learn. Is this all making sense? Show of hands. Yeah, very, very cool. All right, so at the end, like Tony said, I'm going to do Q&A. I'll probably stay over. This is actually a live training. I know we got some skeptics in the room thinking that this is like a pre-recorded training. It's not. I'm looking at the Zoom room right now. Everybody, look how many people got in the room. There's 170 people in the room right now. Either I'm a psychic or this is a live training, and I'm not a psychic. So this is a live training. So I'm going to do live Q&A at the end. I'm going to hot seat you guys. And if you've got any questions, just type in the questions as we go along, because my crew will download all the questions, send it to me, and I'll answer the questions at the end, and I'll hot seat you guys and do some live coaching as well. I want to support you because what I value most about you guys is this training's free, which you haven't paid money for, but you have paid something more important, which is your time and your attention. So anyone who stays to the end, I'm going to do some live Q&A, and also I'm going to give away a free training on where to house your course. Because now I'm going to get the framework to build your course, the 8-Pit formula, but where do I house it? And there's a platform right now that's working best for your level, and it's free and it's so easy to use, but more importantly, it's easy for your clients to use, which is the most important thing about a course, is making sure your clients consume it. Because if they don't consume it, then they don't get great results and you don't build your brand. So I'm going to give out that training for you, and you can set it all up in under 15 minutes. It's so cool, and that's for the very, very end. Cool. Does that sound useful for everyone here if I gave out that training for you? It's free. It's a free platform that you can use right now. So just 2 minutes quickly. Who am I? I started out 8 years ago as an optometrist. I'm 42 now. I was in a room testing eyes for 10 years, 3x2 room, which is clearer, 1 or 2. 1 or 2. Who's ever been to an optometrist before? Yeah, be honest. And when you're there, who's thinking, how can this person do this for every day? That was me. That was me. Unfulfilled, and I had this inkling that there had to be more to life than what I was doing. And I'm guessing that's kind of like where you guys are right now. Do you feel like you're called for more? Who here feels like they're called for more? Who here is also entering a new season or a new chapter in their life right now called coaching, expert, that kind of stuff? Yep, that was me. I was entering a new season 8 years ago, but it was the worst time to enter that season because Penny, my wife, was not working. She was pregnant with our second daughter. We were living in a tiny 2-bedroom unit home because I'd lost over $1 million in the property market. And the only place I could coach was my laundry because our second bedroom was occupied by my daughter, and my kitchen office was our dining table, which you can see there. That's how I started. But what was worse than starting then was doing what I wasn't loving for another 5-10 years. And so I realized that there's more important things in life than trying to wait for the perfect time. And that was the key for me when I started, and it was the most imperfect time to start. Fast forward today, we've won multiple industry awards, living in my dream home. My mentors have now become some of my dearest friends. I've spoken on some of the world's biggest stages, both virtually and live stages, and been interviewed by some industry legends such as Russell Brunson. And this happened only a couple of months ago at Funnel Hacking Live in front of 10,000 people. And this was only 2 weeks ago at the live Funnel Hacking Live in Las Vegas, where Tony Robbins was a headline speaker. But more important, it's allowed me to provide for my family and give them a life that I feel like they deserve. So how many of you want to provide for people you love and care about? Show of hands. But most importantly, you guys are so engaged. I really want to commend you. Like, this is such a cool room, particularly that many of you haven't seen me speak before. So that's really cool. It's helped thousands of coaches, and not hundreds, but thousands. We have helped thousands of coaches launch and grow their coaching business. People who started out in your chair, no name, no list, no experience, felt like an imposter, massive perfectionist. That was all me. And every year we give out 50 of these awards, 50, every year. Coaches starting from zero, going to 6 figures, some to even 7 figures, every single year. In fact, only a month ago, we gave out another 18. Only a month ago. And it all started out in your chair, no name, no brand, no list. So if you're wondering if you're in the right place and you want to learn how to get paid in the easiest, simplest, quickest way, then you're definitely all in the right place. And so, you guys ready for the 8-peak formula? I'm going to get straight into it. Cool. This is the 8-peak formula right now. So this isn't your workbook, but please just highlight, try to take notes anyway. Note takers, write this down. Note takers are money makers. Note takers are money makers. So take notes. Please don't learn this passively because this is going to help you make money. Now, there are 3 skills you must learn in order to create a successful course. 3 things you must consider. Every successful course has a great design. Let's be real, Apple products, I don't use Apple, but I do know that Apple looks better than Samsung. It just does. Apple just looks sexier, so they have a great design. Every course also has a great delivery, so you must consider what is going to be my delivery method to create increased consumption and results for my clients. And then every great course eventually has the ability to delegate so you don't have to run it. Now, for the majority of the room, my guess is, show of hands if you're on less than 100K a year in your coaching business. Show of hands if you're on less than 100. Great, you're in the right room. So if you're on less than 100K, don't even worry about trying to delegate your course and have a head coach and all that kind of stuff. Don't worry about automating and systemizing just yet. Get to your first 100K first, and then think about having a team, having head coaches, systemizing, automating, evergreen, all that kind of stuff. But get to your 100K first. Is that okay with you guys? Like, just do that first. You just have to go through that to be able to create a great evergreen course. So I'll talk a little bit about delegation, but I won't spend too much time there because the highest and best of your time is to spend time on how do we get a great design, and then how do we get great delivery, and then I'm going to show you how to launch it. Delegation will come later once you've made 100K. Are you guys okay if I kind of brush delegation off a little bit? Yep, cool. So delegation, I'll talk about a little bit, but not much. Now, great design has 3 things. Every single course must have a clear outline. These are the 5, 6, 7 things, like the clear outline. Here's the manual. If you open up a book, the first page is, here's the table of contents. It's kind of like that. Every course has a very clear outline. The second thing it must have is a clear outcome. So when I finish this course, what am I going to get? What will be different about my life? When I finish reading this book, what am I going to get? What will be different about my life? A clear outcome. An outcome is different from an outline. An outcome is the result they get from actually doing the thing. The outline is kind of like the agenda of the course. Show of hands if that makes sense. I want to make sure this is clear for you guys. Cool. And every great course has a way for your clients to consume it. So you need to decide on how they consume it. Is it going to be 6 weeks, 12 weeks, a year, 6 months, 100 days? Is it going to be delivered one-on-one, group, or both, or partly library training, or both? Like, what's going to be the way your clients consume it? That makes a big difference. If you have a program that's 6 weeks long, it's probably more consumable than a program that's 12 weeks long, provided you can get the same result in 6 weeks because people want things faster. So consumption is also important to make a decision on as well. Now, when we'll talk about delivery, 3 things about great delivery is you need a clear pathway. Kind of like when you go to put a coordinate in the GPS or go to Google Maps, you need that blue line. So every great course has a blue line for their clients to follow. Has a blue line for the clients to follow. But every now and then, your clients do not follow the blue line for whatever reason, because they accidentally missed a turn or they misunderstood an instruction, and they get off the blue line. And so what happens when they get off the blue line? They need a way for them to be rerouted so they get a brand new blue line. And how do you do that? With support. Give me a thumbs up if this is making sense, right? Support does not mean anything if you don't have a blue line to support them on. And most courses don't have a blue line. So you must have your version of blue line in delivery, and then support, because when they get lost, they need to be rerouted to a brand new blue line, so they're always on track to reach their destination. And then the final thing about great delivery is a great course also has accountability. By the way, we have all these 3 things in our core program, in our 6-week program. clear outline, clear outcome, consumption, clear pathway, support, and accountability. I'm going to go through more depth in that. I'm going to give you some real life examples of what we're doing right now that's working best right now in these three categories. And then delegation, just very quickly, your ability to build a community, your ability to have a leadership pathway, and your ability to clone you. So those three things come from delegation. We're not going to talk too much about that. If you just joined us, you can see the workbook link into the chat screen there, or if you're having problems downloading the workbook, you can scan this QR code. It's going to take you directly to the workbook. So if you don't have the workbook yet, you can scan this QR code. It will take you directly to the workbook. So back to the 8P system. This system can be used for, and we use it for all of these. We have used it for all of these. It can be used for a one-on-one coaching program. Even a one-on-one coaching program has accountability, has support, has a pathway, has an outline, has an outcome, and has a way of consumption, which is one-on-one. You can be using it for a group coaching program. You can definitely use it for evergreen courses. You can use it for a mastermind program. You can use it for certification courses. You can use it for virtual events and workshops. Even this masterclass, I'm using the whole 8P framework. You can definitely use it for challenges as well if you wanted to use it for challenges. I'll give you an example of Katie Godden, some more evidence. She was a school teacher who went full-time. She was only earning, how much was she earning? $60,000 a year in the country, and decided to become a coach because she was an unfulfilled teacher. And she became an NLP coach for health and wellness. No name, massive industry outsider, went from 0 to 610,000 in 32 months, so just under 3 years, and she's a mum of 2 kids, all whilst having chronic diabetes. And that's why she's in the health and wellness space. And that's her sending me a voice clip and a message on how much she made. So if you're wondering if this works, 100% it works, even for a school teacher. And this is evidence from our past students as well. Again, I don't need to read all of these out to you. I think these are in your workbook, but these are our students setting course after course after course, again and again and again and again and again. $3,000 client, $2,000 client, $4,000 week, $5,000 client. These are all our students selling again and again and again. Right. Give me a thumbs up if you've had enough evidence there. Is that okay with you guys? Yeah, normally I'll read it out, but I don't think I need to read it out again and again and again and again. Okay, good. So again, our students are using the 8P formula to sell their courses and get paid and transition to full-time. And all of them, they started out not knowing what to do, no ducks lined, no massive imposter. Am I even qualified? What if they don't love it? How can I charge? All that kind of stuff. But despite all those stories, they had one core belief, which I want all of you to write down. And the core belief is this: that they all believed they had a message worthy of sharing to the world. They all believed it. And you must believe that too. The message you believe that you have to share to the world must be bigger than your story of as to why you feel like you can't do this. Is that all making sense? It must supersede that. Who's a parent here, by the way? Right? You love your kids and you do anything for them, and it will supersede your fear. If they're in danger, you put your life at risk for them. Who gets what I'm trying to say? And that's kind of like the analogy of your coaching business. You have a message to share that you're willing to forego any story or limiting belief that's going to hold you back if your message is big enough. And I can say right now that anyone here who decides to give up on their coaching business or succumb to their stories, it's only because they don't believe their message is worthy to share enough to overcome that. Because you're not ever going to get rid of your limiting beliefs. They're going to be there. The question is, do they stop you? I mean, we're always going to have a story of whether I'm good enough or not. I feel that almost every single day. But it doesn't stop me because I believe there's a bigger message for us to share. So now I'm going to go deeper into the 8P system. So I gave you the overarching framework. I want to chunk down and go a little bit deeper. Now, as you develop a course, and this is how we've done it 8 times in a row, I want you to think of, because the last thing that I want you to do is like to be held back by procrastination or analysis paralysis, or does it have to be perfect before I launch? You know, the owner of LinkedIn said that if you launch a software and it does not have any bugs, then you've launched it too late. Why is there every couple of months an update on your phone? Because the phone has bugs. The software has bugs. It's always got bugs. So don't try to have it perfect. It's impossible. Even software, the best software these days are constantly updating. It's just you need to, what is good enough for you to launch? And so that's a question you need to answer. Is this good enough for me to just go ahead and launch? And so when you think about your course, you need to think about what are the main 3, 4, 5 things that I need to get clear on And that's good enough for me to start and launch. Very much like planning a holiday. So I want you to imagine this. Let's just say, actually type in the chat screen, what is a holiday destination that you would like to go to? Whether you've been there before and you want to go back, or you've never been there before. Type in the chat screen. Egypt, Asia, Cancun, Israel, Belize. I don't know where that is. Hawaii, Fiji, Dubai, Peru, Dubai, Italy, Antarctica. Wow. Japan. Okay. Lots of Hawaii, Italy, Sicily. Okay, cool. Bali. All right, let's just go. I'm just going to choose, let's just say Italy. Okay. Let's say Italy. If I personally haven't been to Italy, so this might be a good example. Now, if I wanted to go to Italy, now, if you wanted to go to Italy, what are maybe 3, 4, 5 things that you would like to know or get clear on before you book your flights? Because once you book your flight, it's kind of like you're committed now. Once you book, just go ahead, type in the chat screen. What are some things that you probably want to know before you commit to booking your flights? The weather, good. That is good. Like, I don't want to, maybe, unless you want to go for snow, or you want to go for, like, what kind of weather are you deliberate? Like, the worst thing is, I went on a tropical holiday once, and they said it's hot all year round. And I went there, it was not hot. It was freezing cold, and we couldn't swim at the beach. And the travel agent lied to us. It was so bad. So I didn't do my due diligence. You obviously want to know weather, for sure. What else? What else do you want to know? Probably not really the cost of sites, but I mean, before you book your flights, I don't think you need to know where the car rental. You probably need to know whether the country needs a visa. True. So weather, visa, before you book your flights, because if it's a country which does not let you in or very hard to get in from a visa point of view, then you're not going to book your flights until you get clear on your visa. Who's following this right now? You want to check if your passport's valid. You want to make sure your passport's valid, because that thing can take months to get in, sometimes a long time. If you're working full time and you have an employer, you want to make sure you can get time off work. So valid visa or visa, passport, weather, time off work, and maybe does the country require vaccination certificates? And once you're like, okay, I got all this information, I'm good, then you can book your flights. Then you can, okay, I can now book my, and that's like your course. What are the 5 things do I need to know before I launch my course? And that's good enough. Now, do I need to know the car rental company yet before I book my flights? I don't need to know that. Visa is more important than knowing the car rental. Who would agree? Do I need to know what hotel I'm staying at? Probably not. Most people book the hotel after they book their flights. Who would agree? You don't book your hotel first. In fact, you never book your hotel first. That is just weird, right? Can we also agree that you probably don't even need to know whether or not what you need to pack? Who gets that? Type in the chat saying, when do you pack? When would you pack for this? Some people I know will be like a week before, 2 nights before, 3 days before. You definitely don't need to know what toiletries to bring. Like, those things happen after you launch, hence after you booked a flight. Yet the strangest thing happens when it comes to launching your course. I get so many beginner coaches say, Richmond, I haven't launched yet. I haven't booked my flights yet because I still don't know what to pack. I still don't know what car rental to go with. I still haven't got my hotel. I don't have a pair of swimmers. Oh my gosh, it's sunny. I can't book my flights because I don't have a pair of swimmers. And it sounds funny, but that's what we call analysis paralysis. That's what we call perfectionism. And it happens when people launch their course. Oh, Richmond, I don't have the first module fully laid out. I don't have a worksheet. I don't have I can't launch my course. BS. Who's getting this right now? Right? And they make up a story, meaning they need to learn what to pack before they book their flight. Now, I'm going to show you what are the 5 things you need to learn before you launch a course. That's going to make you feel safe, because if I've got my visa, I've got my vaccination, I've got whatever things I have, everything else I can figure out after I book my flights. And this is how we launch fast. This is how we get it out there without getting in our own way. And so, first thing you want to know when you're launching a course, kind of like the visa or the passport or the weather or getting time off work or vaccination certificates or whatever it is you need to get clear on your who. That's pretty important. Get clear on your who. Just decide on your who. Niche down. You only need to be one chapter ahead. Your niche is not a tattoo. What do I mean by this? Meaning just coach the person you were 2 years ago if you're stuck, and you don't have to be 20 chapters ahead. Don't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. Compare your chapter 1 to someone else's negative chapter 10. Make sense? Who knows of someone who's going backwards in their life? Who knows someone who's looping the same chapter? Just be one chapter ahead. But that's the first thing. Once you decided on your who, awesome, great. Now my passport's valid. I'm good. What's the next thing I need to know? Okay. Once I've decided on my who, I probably need to know what are my ideal clients' problems and what are they wants. This is kind of like the visa now, and this is kind of like, oh, do I need a tetanus shot when I go there? Probably if I go to Africa, I'm probably going to need a tetanus shot. So then I need to know the next two things. What's the biggest problem I solve? That's your current location. What's the biggest promise I can deliver? Boom. Who will I serve? What's the problem I solve? What do I deliver? Show of hands, who's following that? This is kind of like the visa and the tetanus shot. Great. So keeping those three things in mind, I'm going to give you a ChatGPT prompt to help you get clear on this. And I love AI for the simple reason that it makes our life quicker, easier, but don't let AI make you lazier. Make sense? So don't let it make you lazier. So in this here, I want to give you the principles of teaching you how to fish so you can fish on your own, but also I want to give you the fish as well. Who'd be up for that? I want to teach you how to fish with the thinking, but then I'm just going to give you the fish. I want to make your life easier. So here's a prompt based on your who and the biggest problem, biggest desire, because I'm going to build on this for you. And take a photo of this. Don't try to write it down, because if you write it down and you miss a keyword, it changes the answer. So just take a photo. This is not in your workbook. Pull out your phone, or even just take a screenshot, but just don't write it down. Okay, I'll read it out to you, but do not write it down. Pull out your phone, take a photo. So here's a prompt. I'm a life coach for single mums. Let's just say your who is single mums, and would like to create a 6-week online course for them. So consumption, I've decided to make it 6 weeks. 6 weeks, if you're stuck on how long your course should be, just start with 6 weeks. It's an easy place to start. And then as you build on it, you can go bigger than that. But it's a good place to start. People say, oh, when I start my first course, how long should it be? Just start with 6 weeks as a great rule of thumb. And then you can build on that too. That's a great place. Now, can you please give me a list of the 5 most common problems and the 5 most common desires that they would be willing to invest money in a course or coaching program to have that problem solved? In both this, can you rank them in order of most common to least common? Okay, so that's the prompt. Here's the answer. It is mind-blowing. If you're a single mom, and if I was a single mom, I would resonate with this. I will never be a single mom. My mum was a single mom of 4 boys, and so I have a lot of empathy for her, because we weren't the easiest kids to raise. 4 boys. We were not the easiest kids. But here's the answer. Top 5 problems single moms face, ranked. Overwhelm and burnout, financial stress, lack of confidence, loneliness, and lack of support, and difficulty balancing roles. Now, how many of you would think, oh my gosh, that's pretty on point for a single mom right now with some of the problems? Who thinks that's pretty on point? It's pretty good. Wow. Here's the answers for the desires and what they want most, ranked. They want stability and security. Wow, that's pretty good. Confidence and empowerment, work-life balance, community and connection, and vision for the future. Whew. Geez, ChatGPT, you are on fire. Here's the next prompt, because we want to build on this. Here's the next prompt. Can you please help me create a 6-week clear course outline based on these insights? Remember, the first part about great design is a clear outline. A clear outline. Give me a thumbs up if you guys just got that. That's the first part of the 8-P formula. And you don't even have to do it. I know, ChatGPT does it. Now use your discernment. If you don't like the answers, say, give me another answer. You're crap, ChatGPT, and punch the computer. No, don't do that. This is, and here's what it said. Here's the answer. Week 1, reclaim your time and energy. And it tells you what you'll learn and the outcome. It's like, oh, I wish I had this when I started. Week 2, financial confidence blueprint. Tells you what they learn and the outcome. Week 3, boost your self-confidence. Week 4, work-life harmony. Week 5, build your circle of support. Week 6, a vision mapping for the future. Wow, that's the outline. Type in the chat screen, go ahead. What do you think this course could sell for? Like, be honest, be legit. Like, what do you think a course like this, we're only starting with the outline. What do you think it could sell for? $997? Yeah. Dr. Gemisa, I think it's a Janata. $2,500? Yes. Yes. Teo, yes, you're right. It is cool. This is cool. $3K easy. $997 seems to be about the average. Watch this. It's going to get even better. So that's the outline done for you. You learn how to fish. You got the 3 components, your who, biggest problem, biggest desire. Passport, visa, vaccination, done. Cool? Now I'm going to go to the next part about the 8-Pete formula, which is the clear outcome. So we've done an outline, or AI did the outline, outcome. Now, when we talk about the outcome, I want to share with you what's most important. Okay, how many of you recognize one of these brands? Show of hands if you recognize one of these brands. Cool. If you're in America, it's called Lysol. If you're in Australia, it's called Glen 20. If you're in Europe, it's called Dettol. These are disinfectant sprays. And it's really interesting because during COVID, like I used to use this a lot as an optometrist, like Glen 20, because, you know, in the consulting room, you spray the clinical chair, that kind of stuff. Had to keep things clean. I used to use it a lot. Now, so I usually have these spare cans lying around my home. And during COVID, I ran out and I went to buy some more at the supermarket. And at the supermarket, I noticed a almost identical can, almost, except that this one here says kills 99.9% of germs. You can just see that it's a bit blurry. And this one here says kills 99.9% of germs. And that little tab there, I know it's a bit blurry, says including COVID-19. So this one just says kills 99% of germs. This one says kills 99.9% of germs, including COVID-19. Type in the chat screen, which one are you buying? Which one? Type in the chat screen. This is in 2021 when I bought it. Middle of the pandemic, right? Yeah, of course, you're going to buy the COVID-19 one. I mean, that's the messaging. And then I got home and I'm like, how did they, like, what did they put in there differently that's going to kill the COVID virus that's not in the other one? I was just curious, because isn't it just all poison anyway? Right? And so I'm not even kidding. You get these two, you go to the supermarket, these two, the ingredients are exactly 100% the same. Not even 1% off. They're exactly the same. 50% WW volume, blah, 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 something. And I'm like, wow. But yeah, I bought this one because it had a market to message match. This is the power of messaging. And here's the crazy thing. They were the same price, but if the COVID one was like 50 cents more expensive, I still would have bought the COVID one. Who's getting this right now, right? And then as I thought about it more, and I know they're the same, if I went back to the supermarket, knowing they were exactly the same now, for some weird reason, even today, I'm still going to buy the COVID-19 one. Who's getting this right now? This is the power of messaging. Write this down, the best message wins. Now, if I saw another brand, and if this didn't have the COVID-19 messaging, but I saw another brand that I didn't know, and it was a no-name brand, very much like a beginner coach, no name, no list, no brand, no following, which is most of you guys sitting in the chair right now. But that messaging said kills COVID-19, and the Glen 20, the popular brand, didn't say it. I'm buying the no-name brand. Who's following this right now? This is important. This is important. And so when you talk about your clear outline, what's most important is, do you have a market to message match? Because when you have that, you have it on point, you will make millions. And I mean millions. Now, what this does not say is kills that itty bitty virus and leaves a floral smell in your house so you can live an abundant life and tap into your one universe thing, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't say anything woo-woo like that. It just says kills COVID-19. Nothing against woo-woo, by the way. Just saying. You guys getting this right now? Right? I help women live into their abundant self and tap into their true identity. That's not a market to message match. And so here's the prompt. Take your phones out, take a photo of this. This is why it's important. Can you give me a short, succinct, and highly marketable one-sentence phrase that states the outcome my client will get from the course? Make sure this phrase has a great market to message match. So when they read it, it clearly states who is it for and will make them want to pull out their wallet and buy. So that's the prompt. What's the outcome? What's the market to message match? And here's the answer. So good. So this is the 6-week course for mums, right? Single mums. Designed for single mums, this course will help you go from exhausted to overwhelmed to confident. Exhausted and overwhelmed to confident. Financially secure and in control of your life so you can create the future you and your kids deserve. Oh my gosh. Who loves that, by the way? Show me hands, you guys love that? It's like, what? Oh my gosh. That's a market to message match clear outcome statement. Second part of the design. We've got a clear outcome, outline, and a clear outcome. I'll give you a real life example. Nothing fancy. Martha Mock lost her makeup business during COVID, decided to become a coach, and here's her messaging. She's a confidence coach for women. That's it. She's not like a self-true identity coach for women. She's just a confidence coach for women. Write this down. Fancy will keep you broke. Simplicity will make you money. It's really important. And so she's a beginner coach, no list, no brand, started out from scratch, never coached before. English is a second language. And she actually invested in another program, didn't get any results, and her first 11 paying clients were with us in the first 60 days of working with us. Now she's on 100K in 8 months, and that's her just posting in our group there. These are Underdog Academy, 1.2K, first 10K month, next 10K month, consistent 10K months. Just confidence coach for women. All from this system here, the 8P system. Now I'm going to transition and go to these next 3 things here about delivery. First of all, is this valuable? Is this useful so far? I want to make sure you guys are getting value out of this. Great, great, great. 191 people in the Zoom room. Very cool. Okay. So I want to talk about this here. Now, every course, when it comes to delivery, you must have these 3 things for a couple of reasons. Number 1, if you care about your clients succeeding, then you must have these 3 things. Number 2, it gives you a great point of difference because most people only have one of these 3 things, and it's the support. But support doesn't matter if they don't have a blue line, because what are they supporting you on? Nothing. Nothing, okay? So every course must have these 3 things. So if I wanted to go to a new destination and I want to put in Google Maps or Waves, then it'll put in the location for me, which is your client's desired result that they want. Their problem is where they are now. Google Maps will draw a blue line for me. And that is important because that will give you certainty of success. How many of you, when you get the blue line, you're like, okay, I'm going to get there. This is great. I have certainty of success when I have the blue line. And how many of you freak out when you got 1% battery left and Google Maps is on and you're like, if this phone shuts off, I'm screwed. You're like, quick, you are. We're so reliant on the blue line, but your clients need a blue line too. And if they don't have one, imagine what they're thinking. Hence, they'll never buy or never get results. So every course must have a clear pathway. It must have your version of a blue line to success. Let me give you a real life example of what we use in our 6-week Underdog Academy program, okay? So we have 36 steps to go from 0 to 10K. So all they need to do is tick, 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 tick. Some of these steps take 5 minutes. Some of these steps take 3 minutes. Some of these steps take 15 minutes. It doesn't matter. Boom, 36 steps. Boom, they do it. And it's funny when you tick all these boxes, what happens to your bank account? You get 10K. It's pretty crazy. Once you hit your first 10K, then we have 36 steps to come from 10 to 100. This is the blue line from 10 to 100. They just tick in sequential order. And then once they hit 100, whose goal is to actually get more than 100 and maybe eventually get to 1 million? Just out of curiosity, everyone is different. Some of you guys, if I earn 100K, it's cool, awesome. Now we have 100K to 1 million, 36 steps, tick, 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 tick. Now I believe this is a selfish goal of mine for you that you all should strive for $1 million. Why? Because the only thing that would change in your life if you replace your income and earn a 6-figure income from your coaching business, the only thing that would change in your life when you do that is that you change your occupation. But if you're already earning, say, 100 grand a year and you make 100 grand a year from coaching and you replace your income and you transition to coaching, you can't buy a house that's more expensive. You can't buy a car that's more expensive. You can't send your kids to more expensive schools. You can't fly first class because you're still earning the same, you're just doing a different occupation. Is this all making sense? So the only thing that changes your occupation, which is good, but it's not great. What will actually change your life is $1 million, because that's when everything in your life will actually change. Who's following this? So that's my initial goal, get to 100K. Yes, awesome. But then get to $1 million, because then you have a lifestyle change. And that's when you can send your kids to great schools, have great experiences, have a better lifestyle, live near the water, maybe pay for healthcare that you couldn't afford, or pay for your parents' healthcare that they can't afford. That kind of stuff there too. So that's a clear pathway. That's a real life example of what we do in our program. And I'm more than happy for you to model that, because that's going to give your clients certainty of success. Type in the chat screen, out of 10, if you had, I want you to imagine your goal, whether you're 1K now or 10K or 0 in your coaching business, and your goal is 100K or $1 million, whatever your goal is. I want you to imagine where you are now to where you want to be. Imagine you had a blue line to get there. Out of 10, how certain will you be of getting there if you had your blue line? Now, we don't know how long. Some people drive fast. Some people drive reckless. Some people drive slow. Some people miss 5 turns, but it doesn't matter how long. How certain will you be out of 10 if you had the blue line to get to where you wanted to go? Look at oh my God, 10, 10, 10, 11. Richard said 11, 100%. Yes, 100%, 100%. But the blue line is not enough, because like I mentioned before, how many of you have driven to a place before and it said turn left, turn left, turn left, turn left now, and you didn't turn left? Who's just done that before? And you're like, whether you're daydreaming or there was 3 left turns and you're like, I don't know which one, and you're confused, and now you're down this freeway, and now I had to reroute, and it's gone from ETA of 11 minutes to now 26 minutes. You're like, super frustrating. Yes, but what's good about it is it always reroutes, and you always have another blue line there. So even though you're pissed off and you're frustrated, you always get to where you want to go, because the blue line always reroutes. That's the awesome thing about Google Maps. But in life, if you get lost, unless you have support, no one's rerouting you. And if you have never been there before, you can't reroute yourself. Who's getting this right now? So every course must have support. But here's the key, on the blue line. Guarantee, who's bought a course before, who's been in a coaching program, who's invested in themselves, who's done that before, show of hands, right? You all have. Now, they probably have support, and the support could be one-on-one coaching, it could be group coaching, it could be Facebook group, it could be email, it could be Voxer, it could be WhatsApp support, it could be whatever, it could be the online library support. And they're like, oh wow, this support's amazing. But then you gotta ask yourself, what are they supporting you on? They don't even have a blue line. So support is worthless if you don't have a blue line. Who's getting this right now? And that's probably why the other courses you tried have really failed you on the support, because you're just still lost. How many of you been supported before but still feel lost? Who's ever had that before? Because there's no blue line. So what are they rerouting you on? Nothing. So you need support on a blue line, which most courses have, but they don't have the blue line. But here's the most important part to tie this all together. Now, if you had support on the blue line, and no matter how many bad turns you took, because maybe you're just one of those drivers, or had you one of those days, how certain will you be of getting to where you want to go if you had support and you had a blue line? Type in the chat screen now, out of 10. We had all 10s before, but how many of you? Definitely, says G. 11, 10, 20, 10, 10, yes, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, yes, 100%. Now, who wants to get there faster? Who wants to get there faster? Cool. This is how we ensure our students get there faster and minimize the amount of mistakes we make. Now, in my previous home, we, at the end of my street, and I'm sure some of you can relate to this, 99.9% of the time at the end of my street, I always had to turn left, because turning left was my kids' school, turning left was my gym, turning left was a shopping center, was a grocery store, turning left was my in-laws' house, turning left was the city. So 99.9% of the time, I always had to turn left. Who has something like that where in their neighborhood or something where most of the time they're turning one way or the other? Cool. How's Penny, my wife, it was 50-50 because her work, she had to drive to work. She wasn't working from home. She drove to work and her work was right. And so she was going right. And her gym she went to a different gym. She went to a female gym. And so turning right was she was turning right as much as she was turning left. So it was 50-50 for her. And this has happened so many times but there was a suburb called Chatswood that we would go to, and Chatswood, I have to turn right. And I'm driving, I got the GPS on, I got Penny in the passenger seat, she's my support, and she's like, babe, remember to turn right at the end, GPS says turn right, and I get to the end, for whatever reason, I still turn left. Who's ever done that before? Because you just habitually, you're a creature of habit. Now, your students will have habits that don't serve them. For example, we never promote cold DM. We don't promote cold outreach. We don't promote sending someone a spam message trying to sell you your stuff. Who's had a cold DM before and you don't like it, right? However, I know someone here is doing that because you've been taught to do that because you were taught it's a numbers game when it's not a numbers game, it's a trust game. But you've been taught to do that, and then suddenly they go in our program and we say, what are you doing? No more cold DMing. That's a bad way to ruin your brand. And then what do they do the first week? Oh, I couldn't help myself. I had to send out 10 cold DMs today. Like, no. So even with support, even with the blue line, people have bad habits that they just need to break. And so the way to help your students break their habits is to have accountability. Accountability, not the nagging type accountability, but accountability more to say that, you know what, you're better than that. To raise their standard, to get more out of them than they really believe in themselves, to say, you're better than that. You're better than sending cold DMs. You're better than playing this numbers game. You're better than that. You're better than that to actually do the thing that's actually not working. You're better than that. Snap out of it. You're better than that. How many of you need someone in your life that believes in you more than you do? Who needs someone in that? We all do. And so with accountability, it helps them break their bad habits. Some people maybe drive too fast. It's like, dude, you are a habitual speeder. You're a road rager. Stop it. You're better than that. Who's following this right now? And now you're teaching them to drive the safe way that's going to get them to where they are without hurting other people. And so we need accountability. Type in the chat screen now. Imagine you had accountability, you had the blue line, and you had support to reroute you every time you got lost. And you had someone saying, you know what, you're better than that. What's your certainty of success now out of 10 if you had all these three things to get you where you want to go? Whether your goal is 100K, 200K, 500K, $1 million. Now look at it, 100, 100, 100, a trifecta, 100%. Now, how confident would you feel as a coach if you gave your clients these three things? And that's what we do, all these three things in our program. You want to get rid of imposter? Don't try to be someone you're not. Just give them what they need. Who can do these three things? Support, accountability, and just give the clear pathway. Now, the clear pathway, the first time you draw it out, may not be the shortest path there, but it still gets them there. Sometimes Google Maps draws a blue line and you know there's a shortcut, but you only know that because you've driven it many times before and you say, okay, for this first time, Google Maps is a little bit wrong here, but it still gets them there. Nevertheless, who gets what I'm trying to say? And it's just then that's okay. And so maybe it's your first time or your second time or you're new to this, you can still get them there. Maybe it's not the shortest blue line there, but it's still a blue line, which is better than what they have, which is nothing. Is this valuable so far? So I wanted to explain that to you because I'm going to give you a prompt. And this prompt will only make sense because now you understand the theory behind that. So I've just taught you how to fish. I want to give you the fish now. So pull out your phone, take a picture of this, screenshot it. Don't try to write it down. This is a long one. Here's the prompt. If I was to create a 6-week course on this, can you please create a 6-week course on this? Can you please create a 6-week course outline that clearly and succinctly states in 2 sentences or less the clear pathway, boom, to get them from where they are to their desired result? Kind of like the blue line you get when you enter an address in Google Maps. Can you also include in this course what kind of support would be included to complement the clear pathway? And please also include what accountability looks like to ensure they implement and get great results. So put in there the clear pathway to support accountability. Drum roll, let's do this. This is crazy. Here's the answer. The course outline. This 6-week course guides single mums from feeling overwhelmed and stuck to building confident, balanced, and financially secure by helping them with their master their time management, boost self-esteem, financial stability, Here's the support. Participants receive weekly live coaching sessions, a comprehensive workbook, which AI can do, and actionable exercises, access to private community, like-minded mums for inspiration and support. Additionally, on-demand video lessons to ensure they can learn at their own pace. no matter how busy their schedule is. Accountability. To keep you on track, the program also includes weekly check-ins, progress tracking tools, and accountability partner system within the community. Plus, a dedicated support coach will follow up to address any challenges to celebrate wins, ensuring you take consistent action and achieve real lasting results. Whoa! You know what? Are you guys up if I just play some music to celebrate this answer here? Let's do this. This is nuts! Give it up for ChatGPT. Let's go. Up in the chat screen, what do you think this course could sell for now? Before it was like 997, 997, 997. What do you think it could sell for now? What would a single mum pay for this now? Tell me in the chat screen. Yeah, 2,997, 2,000, 1,192, 1,500. Yeah, pretty much double. That is now knowing the weather. You got your passport, you got your visa, vaccination, I don't need a tetanus shot, or do need a tetanus shot, I'm not sure. Weather's good, amazing. I can get time off work, boom, I'm ready to book my flights. Well, Richmond, I don't know what to pack yet. No, book your flights. You're ready to launch. This is all good to go, you're ready to launch. We can work out what to pack after you launch. Who's getting this right now? Getting it right now, because this has also become your offer. What? Richmond, I don't know what to offer. That's the offer. What's your offer? It might be like, we've got Fernando, Sylvia, Catherine here. I can see you guys. Keke, I don't know if that has announced, Richard, looks like you're sitting in a nice garden there, right? Be like, hey, they jump on the phone with you, like, what are you offering? Like, what's your offer? Well, I'm glad you asked. It's a 6-week program that helps single mums go from overwhelmed to feeling secure and confident. This is how we support you in our program. And this is how we hold you accountable. And this is the outline of the course. How does that sound all to you? Sounds amazing. Cool, where to from here? How much is it? It's 1,997. Whoa, is that all? Okay, cool, where to from here? Okay, how do we start? Boom. You can see that right now. That's it. Then you can figure out how to pack, where to book the hotel, all that, but you are ready to launch. And most people don't even have this when they launch, yet alone trying to get all the other pieces that don't even matter. Who's following? Like, what logo do I use? Oh my gosh, I don't have a Stripe account. Oh my gosh, oh my God. And they freak out. They freak out. But this is the most important thing, but they haven't realized it. Is this useful so far, right? I want to make sure it's cool. Now, I want to share with you the bonus that I promised. So when I started my very first, not my first course, Bamboo Coaching, I didn't have an online library, but my second course, Passion Products, I filmed it on my phone with a flip chart. It's filmed on my phone, my very first course, filmed on my phone, and I had a lapel with a 2-meter extension cord directed on my phone, and my phone was on a tripod. And this is like my back wall and a flip. I filmed the whole course on my phone, and I housed it in Dropbox. And that was the course that I sold over $500,000 in courses for that. So it was so messy, it was so archaic, but that was the best we could do at that point in time. Yes, there was more sophisticated platforms, but you know, it's all good. It's all good. And I'm not saying you should do this, but even when I created my Inner Circle Point 1 a couple of years later, it was housed on Dropbox as well. Nothing sophisticated. Why am I sharing this with you? Because fancy doesn't make you money. Fancy doesn't make you money. People think it does. Fancy is just a way of procrastinating on actually doing the thing that matters most, is just getting your clients results through clear pathway, support, and accountability. Everything else is just trying to pack for every weather situation. Who knows of someone like that, where you pack 2 jumpers, 2 pairs of shorts, 2 t-shirts, you pack for every weather situation, and you know where you're going there, it's sunny every single day. But yet who knows of someone like that? Like, if you're guilty, you know what I mean? You don't need all that. You don't need all the fancy stuff. Just pack light, and you still have a great time. So this is how I started, but there's something better now. There's something better now for all of you guys, and this is a free platform right now. So this is where I would house a course when, especially it's a small course and you're just starting out. best platform to house your course right now is a Facebook group. Facebook group. Why? Because it's easy to use, it's free, your clients know how to use it. In the guide section, if you set it up correctly, in the guide section, this is for a small course. You know, once your course gets bigger, then you can use an expensive platform, but you don't need that right now. So your 6-week course for single mums is housed in a Facebook group. The guide section, you can set it up to the point where you can have guide 1, guide 2, guide 3, which is your course outline that ChatGPT gave you. So here's your 6-week course outline done in the guide section. And it's got this progress bar at the top there for your clients to know where they're up to. It's so good. So the outline is put into the guide section. And how do you record the first video? The first video in core number 1 is you delivering it to your client and then using that as the first module. So that might be a 1-hour core. There you go. Core number 1 complete. You don't have to film anything. And it's the first time you launch a course. It's a first pancake. Is it messy? Probably a little bit, but it's okay because it still gets results because fancy doesn't make you money. Who's following this right now? This is so easy to do. And then you deliver this course 3 or 4 or 5 times and you just put the best recording and replace it with the old one. And then after 3 or 4 times you deliver it, it's a really good course. It's an amazing course. In fact, once for those who signed up, once you jump into the Tiny Challenge course, you'll see that's exactly how I did it. Because I've taught Tiny Challenges for 4 years now, but just not in public like this. And so I did a 2-day event and I taught it again with live coaching, live Q&A, and I chopped it up into 8 different modules. That's it, because I've done it so many times. And it's version 3.0.